What's up, my fellow Token Nerds and fellow Scoundrel Nerds? Let's talk about episode 40 of Kamen Rider Zeztz. And I gotta say, this was probably a good setup episode. This and last one, but I think this one did it better on setting up who's the big threat, in my opinion. Last week, we kind of just got a mystery game of who stole the Code Somnia capsule. Now we have the answer to that, and we also got the reveal of some bad guys. So, let's talk about it. We start the episode off with Jeek being depressed about the punishment gore nightmare. I think that's what we're calling it. Punishment gore, I think. Can someone confirm that in the comments, please? Thank you. Either way, Jeek is upset that Punishment left on his own to do a solo act. Which, yeah. But we did get some information out of him that we haven't gotten previously. Like, later in the episode, he talks about the nightmares being around since the beginning, since God created man. Which, apparently, the Bible is now canon to Zeztz, I think. That opens the door to a million questions, but I'm not going to get into that right now. But overall, it's interesting to know that. And something else at the beginning of the episode where Punishment is like intrigued by human nature, I think. So there's that. And then we get all that. Baku kind of predicts that it's someone that wants to use the Code Somnia capsule. Which, that got Nox thinking. If someone wanted to power up the nightmares, who better than the nightmares themselves? Which we know from previous episodes that there was a nightmare that Nem's mom, which we still don't have a name for her, by the way, is just the lady in Code 2. What's her real name? Technically, we don't know zeros, fives, and threes names. Jeek, Nox. Oh, they got Kyria. Yeah, just those. Just those. We don't have 0, 2, 5, and 3. Not in that particular order, but moving on. I'm rambling. Sorry. Either way. So, obviously Nox goes to the lady to get some information. And Baku is trying to figure out what's going to happen now because Zero pretty much unveiled Code's dealings, I think? Or at least 3's ends. And then, confronts the whole Code agency, which apparently that's higher up, I think. But it's cool how Zero kind of escapes from them just by using the booster capsule, which is also a speed capsule. Granted, booster is more of a code capsule than plasma is to Baku. They're both speed, but one's more code, one's more Baku. So there's that, I guess. But yeah, whatever. There's a lot of rambling in this video. Be aware of that. I'm sorry. It's cool that he uses the boost capsule to pretty much knock out the code agents and pretty much escape. So now it's on the battle of if Baku questions that if he leaves code, questions the fact that he's not part of the organization, but still has the power of Zeztz. Which, that questions on what his dream is, which we get a lot of in this episode. We come back to... I completely forgot the old guy's name. Whatever. But we come back to him, and he starts to get the same treatment as his brother, Genji. I remember that brother's name, but I don't remember this one. Don't ask. In any case, started with the gun thing, and he was trying to hide it. He was. I'm pretty sure that the punishment capsule was kind of testing them on that. Apparently, the punishment capsule has been doing that with a couple other people too. But more so on criminals, just because... Okay. Granted. Yes, criminals should be off the streets. But that doesn't mean they should be turned into nightmares and be vanished. That doesn't mean that. They don't deserve that. They deserve to rot in jail. But they don't deserve to be vanished and turned into nightmares. Which we don't know why they're turning into nightmares in the first place. I mean, yeah, we kind of don't, but we don't know the reason why people are turning into nightmares. Well, we'll just have to wait and see on that front. But overall, it was kind of like... It's kind of heartbreaking on my end just to see this old guy trying to change but then get corrupted with the power that he has. Pretty much trying to go from small time thief to big time, which I guess, but still it's kind of shows the nature of some humans in some cases. Not all humans are bad, but if someone has a dream to be that uses it for bad, that kind of leaves them into a bad habit, which I get. Don't want to talk about that now, but later. I think, I mean, yeah, Baku and Fujimi and Nasuka are on it, for sure. And they kind of confront the old man about it, especially Baku. Which we now know that Baku's dream is now to just eradicate evil. Just be a good guy. Which fits his whole story. He started to dream about being a spy, but all the plotting and scheming behind the shadows definitely influenced that not everyone's a good person. So he wants his dream to focus on just eradicating evil his way, which is perfect for it. To me, is perfect for him. He doesn't need to be a secret agent to be a superhero. He kind of is with Kamen Rider Zeztz. When the old man hears about it, he just pretty much... I mean, it took me by surprise, but I'm not surprised at the same time. He just straight up shoots Baku. That's like low blow. That's a low blow, man. But luckily, Baku was able to get patched up in Dream World so he doesn't die. And then we come to the fight sequence. Well, actually, kind of during all that, we got to see what Odaka / Nox. Okay, I've been flip-flopping on Odaka and Nox, so just whatever. I think I'm gonna stick with Nox just for my brain's sake. Nox pretty much goes to the lady and finds out that the lady has disappeared, which the Phantom Gore answered, which now kind of confirms that nightmares are behind all the Code Samya stuff. So there's that. But then, jumping back to Baku, he's about to face off against the Punishment Gore. Nox comes in, and they do a tag team fight. Which, by the way, the Extreme Zeztz and Midnight Shadow Nox suits they look so good together. Like, it feels like they're both final forms. Yeah, I get that. And sometimes, to me, sometimes the final form doesn't really match up with two riders. Like, I guess for example, it would probably be like, I guess my best example would probably be like Rainbow Gotchard and Valverat. I know Valverat's not a secondary ride, but for some reason those two don't really match up as well as they should. For me at least. These two, Midnight Chow and Extreme, look so good together. It's just beautifully done. And the fight sequence too is incredible. Just seeing those two tag team against the Gorman Nightmare is awesome. They both get sucked into this dream hallucination thing where the Punishment Nightmare is going to kill them. But doesn't. But I'm pretty sure it was Baku because you hear the extreme reset. But both of them do the rider kick on Punishment, and it was freaking cool. I mean, you can't get any cooler than doing a double kick on a bad guy, which we thought finished the Gore Nightmare, but the little Nightmare baby thingies, the one that kind of creeped me out a little bit, has it and kind of resets that, so the Punishment Gore is now alive again, and goes to the moon to regroup. Okay, a lot to unpack there, but now we know that the Gore Nightmares are behind all this. And this actually feels like a good step to be like the main final boss. Like, Nightmares have been in the background for a while now, but we got so busy with Code, we forgot that they exist. So now Nightmares are starting to make their move. So, now, also by the way, that baby Nightmare thing, the barfly thing, whatever, ate the Kotsamiya capsule and just turned into a Gore Nightmare. Yeah, that was crazy. And now we got 4 Gore Nightmares to deal with. We got Phantom, Punishment, Catastrophe, and I don't know what the 4th one is. Anywho, now we got that to deal with. And I gotta say, this was good overall. I don't think it was like top tier, but I don't think it was like a terrible episode overall. It did the job that needed to be done, and that was to set up for the next arc in this series. Which, by the way, I've heard from enough people now to confirm that there's going to be 50 episodes. So that means there is 10 episodes left in Kamen Rider Zeztz, which is crazy to me. I mean, this month doesn't feel like hasn't gone long now. It felt very fast, to me at least, but that's just other things going on right now. Which, yeah, I'm just gonna say this now just so that everyone feels good about leaving. This episode was really good. The fight sequence with Zeztz, Nox, and the Punishment Nightmare was incredible. And we got some really good setups. Let me know what you guys think down below. And to make sure to leave a comment on what you think is going to happen. Make sure to keep an eye out for Eastcott's comment. He does a fantastic job. Thank you so much, dude. You are incredible. And don't worry about being late. I've been late myself. Which, let me talk about that. Because a lot's been going on recently. I have a job that is from 6:30 to 3. And then recently, I was cast in the Frozen play in Winthrop, which that is Monday through Thursday from 6:30 to 8:30. That's a lot of time placed. So that's why I've been kind of late on some of my Scounder of the Week videos. I might just move that to Friday, just so that I have more time. But personally, things have been chaotic on my end. It's just, I don't want to get too personal because it's just something I have to deal with. But all I can really say is that these last couple weeks have been a little rough in general. It's just, I just been questioning on how far do I want to take this YouTube thing, and then the play I mentioned will be my last play I'll do for a long while, just because my confidence is not there. If anything, I posted on Facebook that I auditioned for American Idol, which, yeah, I mean, it's definitely something I want to do, but if that doesn't go well, that kind of confirms on how well things are on my end. I've been down on what I have been doing for a long time. And part of me is kind of unsure what to do. Just, I don't know. I just don't know. But I'm doing my best just to keep a brave face, make sure I function properly, not let anything hold me back. But it feels like recently nothing has slowed down for me. The only times I ever get to myself are from 3 to 4. And then 3 to 5-ish. And then just I wish I was able to get paid on YouTube. I know there's ways, but I don't think I'm good enough to make it that far. I mean, I only have 68 subscribers, which, thank you so much for you guys subscribing. That really means a lot. But I just don't think that I'm cut out to do this full time. So maybe after Zeztz and after I finish my Scam of the Week stuff, I'll just be done doing some YouTube stuff for a while. I might come back, but I don't know what to do. But that's all I can really say on that front. There's more to that to unpack, but that's just very personal on my end. So that's all you need to know on what's going on my end. So if I'm ever late on the video or anything, just beware, it's not intentional. It's just there's a lot going on right now. So I apologize on that front, and I hope you guys understand. But I'll do my best to make sure I'll get each video up and out when they get a chance. And just make sure to keep an eye out and make sure you subscribe and ring that notification so you don't miss an episode. But with that being said, I will see you guys next week. And until then, please take care.